to kick things off, would you like to say something about the recent 24 premiere episode?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent.
In America, there's on Fox TV network, there's this show called 24, which I know is also broadcast in your country.
Yeah.
Now in its sixth season, what I've noticed as we've gone from season 1 to season 6, there's been an escalation of the showing of terrorist type of events and attacks, which appear in this program as part of the 24-hour plot line. Now, television has a habit of showing things, future events in a fictional realm, and I began noticing this in the mid-1990s when I began seeing terrorism suddenly appear on shows like La Femme Nikita, The X-Files, Millennium, and more recently in shows like the X-Files spin-off, The Lone Gunman, which in their premiere episode broadcast the 9/11 attack 6 months before the actual event. Now we have 24, who shows us a suitcase nuclear bomb going off on U.S. soil, and it was a very emotional moment for everyone who saw this. This type of attack is rumored to be forthcoming, and I believe that's the reason why it was shown in the specific plot of this season, because it's not too far off into the future. Chris Carter, the person who was responsible for the X-Files, had mentioned that the CIA had been going to parties that were attended by producers of TV shows like his, and they would feed these people plot lines at these parties. And this was discussed in 2005 when the actor Dean Haglund from The X-Files and The Lone Gunman appeared on the Alex Jones show.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
He verified that this, in fact, had been going on.
Yeah.
So here again we have this embedded symbolism that is going to show things to come. As far as this is, in my mind, disturbing, because when I go to talk to people about this, very few people want to believe this.
Yeah.
Even though I can go back and show them a DVD from a TV show 10 years ago, which may show some aspect of an attack that had happened in the subsequent years. And for 24 to show this in this particular season, which they're only 4 episodes into, which was shown over a 2-episode per night premiere, I think that was also done for a reason, as to impact the emotional state of the viewing audience in the best way possible for the global controllers. Because psychologically speaking, the most impressionable state of mind is a mind under fear.
I saw this this clip. This was an article picked up from, I think it was PrisonPlanet.com, one of Alex Jones' websites, who showed this clip, and it's very. I understand what you're saying when you say that it's very, emotional moment, because they're very skilled, I think, at, portraying this type of event on a very. It's something that kind of relates to in a personal way. It feels like there's so much more going on in the in the imagery of this kind of scene where when the nuke goes off, basically. Do you agree on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And in fact, they have over 100 years of Hollywood filmmaking experience and about 65 years or so of television broadcast experience, and they know how to affect the emotional state of the audience in the most expedient way possible because of this experience.
Yeah.
We were talking about Stanley Kubrick in the first hour of this interview.
Yeah.
And he, in fact, is rumored to be the single individual who filmed what is referred to today as the hoaxed moon landing of Apollo 11. And because of the fact that he was a mystery school initiate himself, he would have been given that type of assignment, and I believe that he had been near the end of his life when he filmed Eyes Wide Shut, and on some level he wanted this truth to become known to the wider audience.
Interesting. And how is it with 24? It's I guess one of the most popular TV shows in America right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So they know where to, in which series to plant this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's in the top 10, and it's a very interesting thing to watch psychologically.
Yeah.
Because every single scene and every character movement and everything is so well mapped out that it actually could be a course unto itself of psychological embedding in television programs.
And
they're called TV programs for a reason.
Exactly, yeah.
They are programming the audience.
Exactly. You guys also had the series Jericho. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jericho is a brand new show, and I've been watching that for the same reasons I watched 24. This is also another example of this post-nuclear bomb apocalypse type of situation, and in the few episodes they've had of this program so far, they've shown how the social order had broken down, how the people were fighting amongst themselves for bare necessities, food and water. And then at one point in one of the episodes, there was a drop-off from what turned out to be a Chinese airplane that basically had on the side of the boxes that they dropped in leaflets that they dropped that said, "We are not your enemy," suggesting that someone else is their enemy.
Yeah. Interesting. And one thing that came to mind when I saw this in 24 is, of course, it feels like, and I don't know if you agree or not, but the fear of a nuclear explosion is what kind of keeps people in check, so to speak. And it feels like the greater impact is actually done when they are actually releasing something on this on TV, because so many people are plugged into that, and at this point I guess many people are more afraid of a nuke going off, basically because this reality of 24 that is being displayed on TV. Do you agree on that?
Yes, I most certainly do agree with that. One of the things that they said about 9/11 was that most people in the viewing audience who caught the news broadcasts of that day and the many days afterwards, when this same film footage was shown over and over again ad nauseum,
Yeah.
On these news channels, and pretty much every channel that carried news had nothing but 9/11 on for weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
And what they do at that point is it takes about a minute and a half for the typical person to fall into a light trance when they begin watching a TV show. And this is something that relates to the broadcasting frequencies and also what I believe is a hidden manipulating frequency behind that initial frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And so with people watching the 24 nuke going off, or the Jericho nuke going off, or the 9/11 news coverage, they are further traumatized by the repeating of this footage, and also on its initial broadcast, the most profound effect of fear happens because these people are in these trance states when they watch this type of programming on TV.
Yeah, yeah. It's fascinating. And also, by the way, if we didn't mention that regarding Jericho, that of course the entire series starts off with a nuke going off, right? Isn't that so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so just get there in there for folks who want to watch it, or because it's interesting stuff, and you know, all of this, of course, you know, kind of gets us to the reality of things, which of course is to keep, you know, people, as you say, in this fear state, and which is very nicely done with shows like this and with these kinds of events. But what do you think to kind of go into the goals of the elite, or I mean, your idea of the game plan at this point? What do you think it is, and how far do you think they have come in this plan to implement, you know, their I guess one world government, or where do you want to? What's your idea of their goals?
Well, actually, I believe that they overstepped their boundaries a little bit, and I think that what's going on right now, especially in personages like George Bush Jr. and Dick Cheney and the other members of what I refer to as the Bush crime family, is that they are panicking because things are beginning to fall apart for them. George Bush Jr. has almost no support in this country whatsoever. If you look at honest polling, his base is about between 10 and 15% right now. So that in itself is incredibly concerning to them.
Yeah.
As far as their goals, what they would like to have happen is they would like to destroy the national sovereignty of all the nations on the planet, merge them into a megalithic United Nations, one world government, through the sexual molestation scandals involving priests and others of the Roman Catholic Church. They are well on their way to destroying the credibility of the church.
Yeah.
And in fact, they can't even get enough priests to sign up to the seminary at this point.